Yes, in the studio we have Philip Teo, founder and CEO of TraderWave. They, of course, develop software for traders. Good morning, Philip.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Nice to have you here in the studio. You've been Chief Technical Analyst at OCBC Investment Research, where you really covered a lot of global stock markets, and then you left the bank to pursue entrepreneurship just 3 years ago. Are you happier now?
Yes, definitely. I mean, there was both push and pull factors to the reasons why I decided to leave the bank and start the entrepreneurship journey. But the main motivation was really I wanted to make use of my domain expertise in trading, together with the use of technology to help more people out there rather than just those clients.
So I see that you were invited to join the SGX Academy as a partner trading coach, and now you've taken things further.
That's right. You've formed this new virtual summit, the first one apparently in Asia. What's this going to be like?
So what's going to happen is that this virtual summit, just a little bit of correction, it's not going to be a live streaming thing, but it's going to be in a format where I actually conduct interviews with top trading experts internationally. Yes, it's going to be recorded. Some of them will be a pure interview version, some will be doing presentation, but at the end towards their presentation, usually I'll be asking questions as well to dive deep into what's their workflow, what's their trading strategy, and what are some of the trading best practices that they adhere to. And these are what we want to deliver to the participants of the summit to help them understand that trading is something that profitable trading is something that they can achieve, but they need to be realistic about the kind of expectations and the level of commitments that they want to put in.
Okay, so you did this to level playing field, so to speak, for beginners, and I think it's free for them to join in. So how are you making money out of this event? Okay,
so what happens is that this summit is actually free to join and to watch the 32 video recordings that I've done with all the international speakers. But those videos will only be available for 24 hours from their scheduled time of being launched during the summit itself. But for participants who are unable to attend due to personal commitments or whatever reasons, they can actually pay for an all-access pass that they can continue to watch the videos at their own timing after the summit itself. And besides that, the paid participants will also be able to get transcript version as well as podcast version of the summit, and also to attend 4 live Q&A sessions with the speakers.
Right. Philip Teo, founder and CEO of TraderWave, is with us. So Philip, you've been in the business for quite a while, and you right now teach as a trainer under the SGX Academy. So you've met a lot of different students who have aspirations to become maybe a full-time trader. How many of them actually want to be a full-time trader, and how many are actually successful?
Well, to be very honest, I always do a poll when I conduct workshops with all these kind of participants, and not many of them actually thinks about going full-time right from the get-go. They just think about, I have some capital base, I have some free time, I want to make use of my capital base and the free time to start to generate income. All right, but of course, there are always some who wants to become full-time, and usually those are the very young ones who are still studying, undergraduates, and they aspire to become full-time traders. But most of those that I've coached over the years are actually part-time retail traders.
Okay, so if people want to take the plunge into becoming a full-time trader, you've seen many of them. What's the advice out there?
Okay, so my advice would be start as a part-timer first. Make sure that you have a proper trading workflow process, strategy, and adhere all the best practices. And once you start to generate at least a few hundred trades, open, close, and ensure that you have a system that is already making money for you, that's when you start to look at going to full-time.
It sounds like it can take years.
Yes, potentially yes. And of course, it depends on the kind of strategy that you have as well. If you are adopting a shorter time frame kind of strategy, your learning curve shortens because you do many more trades in a shorter time frame, and you'll be able to get feedbacks and results quicker. But of course, if you're going to do on a swing trading on a longer term basis, it will potentially take a year or two for you to even realize that, hey, this is something that I can really do well, and it's time for me to move full-time on that basis.
But Philip Teo, founder and CEO of TraderWave, is with us. Philip, so trading is can be a very emotional experience. What is the common mistakes that people normally make? Let's talk about trading psychology. What separates winners from losers?
Right, I think the biggest problem with new traders coming on board is that they have the wrong expectations of what they hope to achieve in the next 1 year, for example. Because the nature of this industry is such that it's always easy to sell you the idea of get rich quick. So a lot of people think that trading is something that I can just just come in and quickly within 1-2 months I'll be making a lot of money. I can just do full time, or I might even be able to retire in just a few years. So that's the wrong expectations to have, because just like any other professions, you need time, you need expertise to train yourself to be skilled to do that level. So from that perspective, I think the expectations is wrong for a lot of beginners to start with. And at the same time, they start learning the wrong things.
What's wrong?
Okay, so for example, they think that if I find a holy grail strategy and I just applied it, I can become rich. But that's not the reality at all. So in fact, during the summit itself, many of the speakers will keep on emphasizing this point about you need to find a strategy, a workflow, and the best practices that fits your lifestyle and personality. And that is different for different people as well. So it doesn't mean that if I use this particular strategy, I'm highly profitable, means that you can just simply duplicate it, because your personality might not be suitable for the kind of strategy that I use.
Okay, last question for you, Philip. So what common mistakes do you see investors often make when they go into the market?
So one of the biggest problem is they often, once they get into a trade, once they start to lose a bit of money, being in the red paper loss, they start to hold on to their position instead of getting out in time or earlier.
So short-term trader becomes long-term.
Yes, short-term trader become long-term, and once they see paper profits, they want to take profits very quickly instead of letting their profit runs. So that is actually a huge psychological issue that affects most traders and prevent them from becoming proficient and profitable over the long run, over a large number of trades.
Well, thank you so much, Philip. Philip Teo, founder and CEO of Trader Wave, talking about his first virtual summit happening next week.